Hi everyone, and welcome to Feature Friday at the BCCJ, TGIF. And gosh, it's the end of Tohoku Week, the BCCJ's first ever Tohoku Week, a regional communications campaign to promote the areas that were most acutely affected by the events of March 11th, 2011. It's been really intense. Much more intense, I think, than the team had anticipated. I'm sure they're sitting beside me here in Tokyo in agreement. We've been working round the clock to bring you, BCCJ members, and our wider ecosystem stories from the people of Tohoku and present you with businesses and community projects that might benefit from future support. Any highlights, I'm wondering, from the team? Sarah, have you enjoyed it? You're going to need a rest this weekend, I think.
My goodness, we will, but it's been really rewarding, actually. And for those of you, I guess most of you will not know that this project was really close to home for me. I spent the majority of my childhood growing up in Miyagi, specifically Sendai, and my parents are still there. They were there throughout the disasters, I should say. So it's just been, I feel like I've come full circle. It's been so nice being able to give back to the area that I did call home for so long, and being able to connect with people that I just haven't had the chance to until now. And to be able to use our platform to, of course, highlight the progress and the amazing support that the whole region has received until now. It's been really important for us as a team to make sure to also highlight what else still needs doing and how we, as a community, can still support from afar. I know we're not allowed to travel at the moment, but there are so many ways that we can still support the region, businesses and also communities there. A highlight for me is the sport. This was one angle that we brought into all three of our deep dives in Miyagi, Iwate and Fukushima. But seeing these sporting venues being used for just incredible things, as well as the Rugby World Cup in Kamaishi in Iwate, and just the sense of community that's built from these events. And also the story of the Mainabi Sendai ladies in Sendai, in Miyagi. That's a really touching one for me. So those would be my main highlights.
I love that we've kind of brought a different Miyagi to you.
Absolutely.
Your homeland, Sarah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I guess I know firsthand. You know, as you do as well, and many members will have visited, and I know have just shown incredible support over the years. So I've seen it, you know, through its worst. And I mean, Onagawa comes to mind in Miyagi. You wouldn't recognize the place now. It's incredible how much has been done over the past 10 years, and that's thanks to business leaders and local communities and support from, you know, within Japan but globally. It's really nice to be able to highlight those.
I like that you mentioned connections as well. Of course, when we set out on this Tohoku Week journey, we were leading with business and commerce, and then quickly realised actually this is also about culture, the culture that's coming out of Tohoku and the cultural rebuild that's still ongoing. But most importantly, I think connections to the local people, their stories, and nothing happens, of course, without them in this revitalisation effort. Sam, the man with the tech plan, also working 24/7 to get this content out to you. Any highlights?
Yeah, it's been quite a week, certainly a roller coaster, a bit emotional as well at times. I think we've all kind of felt that, and it's really means something, I think, to each of us to hear these stories and to speak with people who've lived through different journeys and who have helped in their own individual way to bring something back to the area that they live in. For me, it's all been about the little moments, the little stories, such as in Koriyama, where they've worked to engage the younger generation in the future of their towns. This is absolutely the right way to be approaching something like this and considering what can be put in place to keep the local population active, engaged and wanting to be there. Also stories like up in Kamaishi from Yamada-san really stood out, where he's used his experience from traveling around the world in a diesel car
that was a good one. That was a really good one.
And he's now running these workshops, trying to show people how to live in harmony with nature, but also bring in a new kind of tourism to the area, which wasn't on anyone's minds. This is a completely unique idea. And for me, stories like that just show that even a little spark can have a great impact, and that even the little ideas really can pay and benefit for the good of the local community. So yeah, that's just a bit from me, I guess.
I love it. Who knew where Tohoku Week was going to lead us, actually? And a massive thanks to everyone that's contributed content, whether that be videos, sound bites, PDFs, updates on reconstruction plans in their area. It's been a real team effort. I hope that doesn't sound like too much of a cliche. It's absolutely true. In particular, BCCJ member Kyoko Sasaki, who, she was one of the linchpins in our Back to Business for Tohoku project, which the BCCJ launched in 2011 to help local economies revive and get back to kind of normal everyday trading. And we asked Kyoko for a list of businesses that she would like us to highlight from her hometown in Ishinomaki. And unbelievably, she got back to us with quite a polished, I would say, maybe a TV career beckons for you, Kyoko, a polished set of streams from Maruka Fish Market and some of the restaurants in Ishinomaki and Onagawa. So thanks, Kyoko. You really went above and beyond, I think, to produce some great content for us. Thanks also to the British Embassy for their time, and of course Her Majesty's Ambassador, Julia Longbottom, for her contributions. And earlier in the week, Matt Knowles, head of the British Council here in Japan, and also Martin O'Neill, Her Majesty's Consul, for kicking us off with In Times of Crisis, a webinar on Monday, day one of Tohoku Week. Oh my gosh, any parting thoughts before we close our unique campaign?
Maybe just to say that this is the final day of Tohoku Week, but we're planning on creating a space on the BCCJ website, which will just be an open space for you to please send in any other stories that you have. We encourage you, once it's safe to do so, to travel yourselves and to report back on anything that you think is worth highlighting on our channels. Thank you.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree with Sarah that we've been doing like a lot of digging around, and there's so many different stories out there that when it's safe to do so and COVID allows and this pandemic's over, go there, meet the people and try to find your own stories, your own connection points. Because the response we've had has been so enthusiastic that we just know there's so many more like that out there, and go and find it.
Absolutely. And from me, it's been great to reconnect with so many of the people and the places that we encountered in 2011. But in dedication, I think I'd like to pay tribute to the Endo family, who suffered the most unimaginable loss of 3 children on the day in question, and have kept going with community rebuild activities and various outreach programs that you can read a bit more about in this closing chapter of Tohoku Week at the BCCJ. So to the Endos, to everyone who suffered loss on that day, to all the survivors, and to the many, many people across Japan and the world who continue to support Tohoku. Thank you so much, everybody, for your support, and we will be back. Take care.